Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome to ServiceNow 911. In today's video, we are going to discuss GRC, very first application, that is ServiceNow Policy and Compliance Management demo, step by step in the demo instance. Okay, so this is my demo instance and this is the complete application which I have installed. So I hope from the last video you also have installed this application. So now how we are going to proceed here? So we are going to proceed step by step. Let me show you the document for the time being. So now this is the complete picture of what we are going to discuss. First of all, we have a regulation, then authority document, policy, policy acknowledgement, policy exception, controls, entity indicator, evidence request and issue. All these are the components which we are going to discuss. Okay, so here we are taking example of online banking password policy. Okay, so now let us discuss these things one by one so that we understand each and every aspect before going into the demo. Okay, so the very first step is regulation. There we create an authority document. So what is an authority document? Authority document is the original source, the regulation, the law, standard, framework that your organization must comply. It means it is coming from the regulatory body or from the government. Okay, so here in this case, RBI mandate that all the internet banking systems must enforce strong authentication for customers. Okay, so this is stored in ServiceNow as authority document. So whatever RBI is saying in its circular, we are going to store each and every line of that one in our authority document. So this is what authority document means. Okay, so these are the certain examples of authority document. RBI guidelines, Reserve Bank of India. Okay, ISO 27001, this is again issued by international standard organization. So all these are what? These are regulators. Okay, SEBI, Government of India, IT Act. So these all are the act, or these all are the authority documents which we have to save in our authority document table. Okay, so now you are done. This is all about authority document. Okay, after that, once we stored the authority document, we are going to create a policy. So what is a policy? We read the regulation and write our internal policy that say how we will follow it. Obviously, we are going to make a policy, we sit together, okay, and then define a proper policy for our company. So here in our example, ABC Bank's online password policy. So what we have discussed in this, all user must use 12 character password with multi-factor authentication. Okay, so this is what the policy is all about. In this policy, in this online banking password policy, we are making sure that the password are MFA enabled and 12 characters. Okay, so for that we will create a policy in ServiceNow. Then we define controls. So what are controls? We define the actual technical or operational actions that enforce the policy. Obviously, in policy, we have just written something, right? But how to enforce that policy? For that, we have controls. So, like this, in this example, internal banking system must enforce 12 character password, 90-day expiry and MFA for all the users. Okay. So, for all this, whatever we mention in the policy, we are going to create controls. Okay. And these controls are again enforcing the actual policy which we have created. Okay, like 12 character password should be there. It must be a complex password. It must be a 90-day expiry and MFA enabled. So this is stored in the controls in ServiceNow. So we will create these controls in control table. Okay, and link all these to the policy. Okay. Now, once we have defined the control, now it's time to measure the control. Obviously, until unless we measure, how we are going to know that the compliance is there, that our organization is meeting the requirement. Then in step 4, we measure the control, and how we set up indicators to continuously measure whether the controls are actually working or not. So here, every month measure what percentage of internet users have MFA enabled. Okay, so we have to set our target that every month there must be 95% people who will be compliant. But how many people are actually MFA enabled? How we are getting this data? Via various reports from IT department and all. Okay, so now for that we create the indicators and link this indicator to the control. Okay, now we go to step number 5. We ask for the proof. Now the compliance team or auditor asks the control owner to provide evidence that the control is working. So you know that we have defined the controls who are enforcing the policy, and indicators are there to measure these controls. Okay, so now the compliance team, in order to do the audit properly, ask the control owner to provide the data or the evidence to support your indicators or your controls. Let's say you are saying that more than 95% people are now having MFA enabled. So now what the compliance team do, they ask them provide the reports. So this report is nothing but the evidence. Okay, so here please upload a report showing MFA enabled for all internet users. Okay, so this is stored in the evidence. Okay, so this is evidence in ServiceNow. Then we have a gap found. In step C, we will see if there is any gap. If the indicators are failing, it is not complying to 95% target which we have set. In that case, we have to find the root cause. In that case, we have to see what is happening. So for that, we create an issue in ServiceNow. Okay, so issue MFA enabled is for 30% only. It is a very serious thing because we are expecting 95% people who must be NFA enabled, but we are only seeing from the reports, from the evidence that 30% people are only MFA enabled. So now we will create an issue and then we fix the gap. Then we create remediation task, okay, and assign it to the right people and right team to fix that issue. Why this is 35% or 30%? We want that to 95% do what you have to do. Okay, so that team will look into it, these engineers will look into it and see where are the gaps, and finally this will be fixed using remediation task in ServiceNow. Okay, after that we see policy acknowledgement. We make sure that all the staff have read and accept the policy formally. You also have done these things, right? Whenever you install any particular software, you will see that acknowledgement option where you tick the terms and conditions. So it is same like that. Okay, then we have exceptions as well. So suppose there are people or there are teams who are not able to compliance or who are not able to comply this policy because of some reason. So organization must know who are these people, and all these people should be pre-approved. Okay, so that is known as exception. So in this example, you see, if someone genuinely cannot follow the policy, they raise a formal exception with a reason. Okay, compensating control and expiry date. Obviously, legacy mobile API cannot enforce 12-character password. Exception approved until June 2026 with extra fraud monitoring and compensation control. Okay, so this is the policy exception. So this is the complete picture. One by one we are going to do. Okay, so let's start with the very step one. So you see here all the steps I have mentioned. Step one is authority document. Then step two, we will create an entity. Okay, then step three, we will create a policy. Step four, control. 5, indicator. Then evidence request. Then issue. Then remediation task. Then acknowledgement. Then exception. Okay, so let's move to the very first step. And that step is creating an authority document. Okay, so let's go to this application. Under compliance, you see authority document. Click on it. Click on new. Provide the name here. So we'll create the name RBI Internet Banking Guidelines 2026. Provide a category. Banking and financial organization. It seems like. Provide a type. It's a kind of regulation here. Okay, so you can see all these are the types. These are self-explanatory. You can go through it one by one. Provide some description. So one thing I would like to say that these authority documents are generally auto-created. Auto-created from certain websites. Okay, so from certain controls, we are going to create it automatically in this. Yeah. In content integrator. Okay, so this is an integrator which is directly integrating with government websites, regulator websites, and create these documents. Okay, but here in this demo, we are going to create it manually because we are not actually, providing this integration. Provide the version number. Then we will provide the validity here from to 2. So it is starting from here and then it will complete till, that's in 2016 November. Okay. Now this is done. Let me submit it. So you see our authority document is now created. At the bottom, you see certain citations. So this is also one of the things which you should know. These citations should also come from this control content manager here, content integrator. But again, we are creating the citations manually. First of all, let us discuss what are citations. So after creating the authority document, you create citations which are specific sections or clauses of that document. Okay. So basically it is certain sections which we have to create with respect to that particular authority document. So whoever or whichever is applicable to your company, you can create such citations there. So now let me create this one. Click on new. To provide the name here, multi-factor authentication. So here I'm just providing this text here. Okay, so but in general, they have to provide proper text, which is providing each and every detail of this citation. Okay, so now provide the type. It is a kind of control type. So this compliance scores will be automatically calculated later. Okay. So now we are done with the citation. Let me click on submit. Yes, we have the citations here. Okay. Next point is one authority document, many policies. So one regulation can drive multiple internal policies. RBI internet banking guidelines alone can generate policy for password management, session management, fraud monitoring, and data encryption. It means one authority document is very big. It is having n number of citations. Okay, so based on that, you can create n number of policies. As simple as that. So now in step 3, we will create one entity. Okay, so what is entity? An entity is any part of your business that you want to monitor for compliance. Okay, so basically you have the complete organization. So in that organization, which part of that organization is going to be coming under this compliance, coming or follow this particular policy? Okay, so compliance rules do not apply to thin air. They apply to something specific, an application, department, process, and this is known as entity. So basically in our case, this is an application, like whoever is using internet banking application should be the user of that one. So we will create one entity there. Okay, so these are the fields. So now let me go to entities. Click on all entity here. Click on new. This is the name of our entity. Provide the name, owner. Who will be the owner of this policy or this entity? You can add the name of any of the user, whoever is the owner of this particular entity. Let's say the department head or the application owner should be the owner here. So let me add this person, Ellie, and then class. Again, this is an application. So whatever it is, you can provide here. So we are saying it's a kind of application. And then we have this refer to existing record, applies to record. If we click here, you see we have the option to relate this particular entity to a certain record in our system. So basically the meaning is they want us to tie this to a particular CI. Okay, if possible. If you already have this application as business application or something like that, then you can tie that one here. But for the time being, we are not tying it. Okay, we are not. But in case you do that, it is having more benefits, like in case of change management, in case of understanding the impact analysis and all these things. If it is related to a particular CI, it will have more benefits. So if you want, you can do that, but we are not doing it at the moment. Okay, so just add it like this. Now come to the compliance tab. So what is attestation? Attestation means somebody is going to review it again after some time. So that sometime is annually generally. So let's keep it like this. Okay. Click on submit. So now we have created an entity as well. Remember the name of the entity, ABC Bank Internet Banking Application. Okay. So how an entity is connecting to everything? You see, entity ABC Bank. It is connected to controls. It is connected to risk, audit, and issues. Okay, same entity can be reused across various GRC modules. Now let's go to step number 4 and we will create a policy here. So a policy is the official written rule that organization has decided to follow in response of the regulation. Yes. Think of it like authority document says you must enforce strong authentication. And for that, our response is creating a policy. And this policy is ABC Bank write internally. All internal banking user must use 12-character password with MFA. So this is the policy which we have designed for this organization. And it is applicable to this entity which we have created just in step number 3. Okay. So let me do that. Let me create a policy right away. Now go to policy from here. Click on it. Click on new. Provide name of the policy. Provide type. It's a policy. It can be a procedure, all these options. So just check it out. Let's provide owner as what? Able tutor. Then compliance score, it is automatic. If you have any parent of this policy, you can select valid from today and valid up to 31st January 27. Approval method is use approval rules or select approval. So based on your company policy, company design, you can use any of this. But for the time sake, we are using just approvers. So who are the approver? Select someone from here. Generally, the approver will be someone who is looking after the policy. So let's say Alexandra is the approver here. Who is the reviewer? Again, select some people. So you see, we are getting only 4 users here. So why is it so? Let's say check Tomasi. Okay. Okay, so why we are getting only few people? Because in GRC module, the users who are having GRC role should only appear in these fields as users. Okay, so that's why in owner also you see only few people. These 4, because these 4 people are having GRC roles. So that's why we are getting this. So don't get confused. So this is done. Now let me provide some description. This is the description which is ready. Add one polity text so that it looks professional. Okay. So this is done. Now let me submit this policy. Short by created. You see, this is our policy. Right now, this policy is in draft state. So now let me open it. Okay, so you cannot say this policy is in, power because this is not yet published. So until unless it is published, it is of no use. Okay. So now we will publish it. Click on request review. Click on request. So now the policy is in review state. Our reviewer, Chuck Tomasi, will review it, okay, and provide its comments. Later, we can click on request approval. So the approval is Alexandra, right? Click on request. So this is awaiting approval. So now let me impersonate to this approver, okay. Let me do it in incognito mode. I'm in incognito mode. This is how you can also do if you want to manage 2 sessions right in one system. Click on impersonate. This is Alexandra. Click on my policy approvals. You see, we have this requested here. Click on it. So after doing all the research, he just now have to approve it. Click on approve. You see the policy is approved now. Okay, so now let me come back here and reload this. Yes, once approved, the policy is now published. Well done. Our policy is now published. Okay, so now what we will do? At the bottom, you see various other things. This is the knowledge base. This is the article which is created for this policy automatically. Okay. After that, you can see policy history in the related list. See the approver here also. Okay. There is the option for policy exception that we will create later. So now this policy is published. Okay. Next step is to create control for this policy. We have discussed this already, right? What we have to create next. So what is a control? A control is the actual action or rule that enforces the policy. Okay. So there may be more than one control associated with a particular policy because we have to take care of various control mechanisms here. You see the example here in the same banking example. Policy says all internet banking user must be having strong password with MFA. So this is a very general statement, right? But the control say is more specific. These all are the type of controls we have. We have preventive control, detective control, corrective control, and deterrent control. Now come to this and click on controls. So where we find the control? Controls are here. Click on all controls. So these are the out-of-box controls which are created. Click on new. Select the entity which we have created. This is the entity, right? ABC Bank. Then what is the control objective? So click on it. You can say one more category, a broad category with respect to these things. So you can create your own objective or you can find something from here. So basically we are dealing with online banking, right? So find out banking. You see banking access and permission, something like that. So we will add this here. So who is the owning group? The group who is responsible for this control. So let's say some IT team here. Okay, so IT securities. Provide the enforcement. It is a mandatory one. Yes, this one is mandatory. And select all this category and all type of everything. Okay. Frequency, let's say quarterly or monthly. At the bottom, you see attestation tab. So now this control should also be attested on regular intervals. So if there is any change in condition or terms and condition or technology, so in that case, we have to make sure that this control is valid. Okay. So how to do that? Somebody has to manually attest it. Okay. And once they attest it on regular interval, we will come to know, okay, this is still valid. So here we can see, we can add attestation method. How to attest? Let's add this one, GRC classic attestation. You can have all these options. Okay. Now provide the person who is going to attest it. So I will select again, I will tutor here. You can select attestation frequency. So let's do it annually. Okay, so this is done. Now let me submit this particular control. Got by created. You see, this is the control which we have created. Open it. Now let's move this control to at least monitor, because until unless it is not in monitor state, it is of no use. It is not under evaluation. Okay, so we must ensure that the control is in monitor state. So how to do that? Click on attest. You see, created 2 attestations. So at bottom, you see, there may be some attestation here. Yes, there is an attestation and it is for these 2 persons. Why we 2 are coming? Because we have added these 2 people here in this attestation respondent, Abel Tutor and Ali. So now we have to impersonate to these people and do the attestation. Go to Abel Tutor first. So now we have to manually attest this, okay, and go to these people and impersonate. So under policy and compliance of Abel Tutor, go to attestation. My attestations. You will see the same attestation is available here. Click on it. You can take the assessment. It means Abel can take the assessment here and provide the questions. Is this control implemented? Yes. Attach some evidence. So you have to provide some report, but for the time being, let us just add a simple document. Okay, done. Submit. So this is done. Again, impersonate to another user. So now we have impersonate to this user, Ali. Let's click on my attestation. The same procedure we have to follow. Open it, take assessment, and once done, attach the evidence, provide submit. Yes, attachment is done. So now the control is attested properly. It is in review. Now click on monitor. Okay, so now our control is in monitor state. It is ready to be used. Okay, so once the control is ready, we have to create what? If you remember, that is indicators. So this is the step number 6, which we have to create indicators. What is an indicator? It is a measurement that tell you whether your control is healthy or failing. Okay. Think of it like a health checkup of your control. So basically, whatever you have mentioned in the control, it is just checking that. Okay. So the control says MFA must be enabled to the all users, whereas the indicator measures the percentage of users who are actually doing MFA. So from where it is doing this measurement, it is doing this measurement with the data which is acquired from various teams. Okay. So now let me create this. At the bottom, you see somewhere indicators. Yes, this is the indicator. Click on it. Click on new. So now the first field is category. This is a control indicator. There is also an option to create a risk indicator. So now first provide the name, provide some description, select your entity, select your control. So click on it and find your control which you have just created. This is the same for this entity, right? So what we are doing here in these indicators, we are basically getting the report, right? So we have two options here. Either do it manually, a task will be automatically generated for the person who is going to, fetch the detail, basically the engineer who is going to get the detail for you and update the task. Whereas in case of automatic, you have the script options where you can directly integrate with the system and then fetch the data from there. Okay, so all the options are available. In this demo, we are creating it manually. Provide the target type as percentage. So what will be the target? It will be 95. That's what we want. We want that our indicator should be passed if it is 95% achieved. Okay. This is the instruction for collecting the data. Export the MFA status from the IAM system. Count the total active internet users and users with MFA enabled. Calculate the percentage and enter the result here. So this will be our method. Okay. So after we are done with the method, we come to here in supporting data. So if you want to, keep this data which the users are getting from this report in method, you can click on it. Basically, we will use it for further purposes like to get the evidence and all. Okay. Then we have the schedule. When you want to collect the data, we want to collect the data. We want to do it quarterly. Now let me submit this indicator. So this is the indicator which we have just created. Now you see this execute button here. So now click on execute. It means we are trying to fetch data. We are trying to execute this indicator. So now you will see an indicator task will be generated. It may take some time. So because we have the method as manual, that's why the task is being generated here. If you come to the bottom, you will see the task here. Let me reload it. So now we are doing the actual compliance. We are testing the indicator here. You see, this is the open task. So open this task. And it is assigned to this person, Ellie. Okay. So now it is the Ellie who is actually going to provide the data. Okay. Now what I will do, I will impersonate or I will go to the Ellie's account in my impersonation here. So we already, I think, yes, we are already in Ellie, right? So now if I go to policy and compliance here, let me go to indicators. This is the indicator here, right? At the bottom, there must be a task. So Ellie is the person who is going to open the task. And now after doing all the research, Ellie is now going to provide the value here. So now for the time being, let's say we are 96% and the result is passed. So Ellie provided the comment and then close the task. Click on update. Go to the indicators one more time. You see, it is passed. It is showing passed here. If I go to the control, click on all controls. You see, this is the control, right? This control is also having the status as compliant. Okay, so now if I open it, because the indicator is now passed, that's why this particular control is compliant. Are you getting my point? Okay, that's why you see the status here as compliant. Now let me do one more thing. Let me open the indicator one more time. So we have provided the schedule as quarterly, but I am doing it right now. Okay, so now let me again click on execute. Because the method is manual, again the task will be created. And the task will be assigned to Ellie again. Reload it. This time we will see the failed thing. Okay. Again the task is opened. So now let me go back to Ali. This is Ali, right? So now if I go back to indicators, or you can see my indicator task. Okay, click on it. You see this is the one which is open. Okay, so now open this one. This is open just now. Okay, now I will provide the result as failed. After doing all the calculation, this Ali, who is the engineer, he got the report and he saw that now only 70% people are compliant. Okay, out of the total people. So now close. Provide comment failed. Okay, then update. As soon as we do that, this is closed now. If you come here and go to your control, reload it, you see this is non-compliant now. Okay, so this is how, based on the indicator, the controls are behaving. If the indicator say it is good, then the control is compliant and easily visible here. In case of it is false, it is not compliant, then you can see the control is also showing like this. I hope you are getting my point. So now what we will do after that? We have this non-compliant here. Now we will create something which is known as issue. Okay, create an issue with respect to that. And I think ServiceNow automatically creates an issue. You see at the bottom of this control, we have the issue already created. So if I open this issue, okay, let me open it. Every detail is there. It's an indicator failure, which is the indicator. Everything is available here. Okay. So now you can provide more values to this issue. Okay. Non-compliant to policy. Okay. Classification. It's a kind of compliance. Provide one issue manager here. Click on it. So let's say we provide Apple Tutor as the issue manager. Provide issue rating. Let's say high because this is a serious issue. Password issue is very, very critical. Okay. So now what we will do, save this. As this issue is automatically assigned to this person, Ellie. That's why I'm getting this message because GRC is a very user-friendly thing. Even though I'm admin, I'm not able to do these things properly. Okay, so now what we will do, we will go to Ellie again. Okay, and here we will find issues. My open issues, click on it. You see the same issue here in Ellie account. Click on it. So look at this issue properly. So now what we will do, we will change the state of this issue to analyze. Now move it to review, save it. You see we have to provide something here in the response. The response is we want to remediate it, right? You want to accept the issue, it means you are okay, you're not doing anything, or you want to remediate it. Yes, I want to remediate the issue. Okay, I want to fix it. Okay, so that's why it is asking. So now what we will do, now we will move it to respond, save it. So after respond, we moved it to review state. Now if you come at the bottom, see the related list. You see there is an option to create a new remediation task. So you can click on it to remediate this so that things will come under control. Let's assign this to Alexander. So basically, we will provide this task to the people who is actually going to see what is the issue and try to fix it and make sure all the users now are having MFA. Okay, so we are assigning this to Alexander. submit it. Again, come to the bottom, open the task. Now the Alexander is going to work on it. Make it work in progress. Save it. So once he's done, he's just going to close this, okay, and then provide and then update. Okay, so this remediation task is complete. So this is how the complete life cycle works. Issue is created automatically based on the indicator failure, and then with the help of engineer we have remediated that. Okay, so now you see, let us keep this open. So now one more thing I would like to tell you here. After this is done, now it is the role of the compliance team to come into picture. So what they will do, the compliance team or the auditor, they will look into your issues. They will look into your policy. They will go through all the controls and indicators. And during this complete process, they are going to ask you, or they are going to demand certain proofs, and that proofs are coming via evidences only. So how they are going to ask you for the evidences? They will go to all your issues. Okay, so right now you see these are the issues, and they will come here, open the issue, and with respect to this issue they will ask certain documents, certain evidences. So you see we have the evidence request here. Click on it. So now we have to assign this to someone who is responsible. Okay, so let's assign certain users. Let's say Alexander, who has worked on this, right? So select it. Okay, then provide one short description, then provide a name here. So like this, we will provide some description. Please provide the report of MFA status of users downloaded last week's. Okay, so now you will provide the request reason. It's a kind of internal audit. Okay, let's put it like this. Provide the due date to this requester. Now you can provide the due date. It's by tomorrow. I need this. Okay, now submit this, save it basically. After this, you can click on request evidence. This is the button available. So it is saying the error, please create at least one evidence collection detail before requesting the evidence. So at the bottom, you will see something like evidence details. Okay, so here you have to provide that. So click on this new evidence collection detail. So here you have to provide this evidence for, okay, because the main purpose of this is to provide the steps how to collect. You do not want engineers to just provide detail from their mailbox. You want them to record the whole process while you are capturing the evidence, so that they are pretty much sure that whatever you are providing is authenticated. So this evidence is for issue. Okay, so this is the issue here. Now select the issue number. This is the issue which is created. Click on OK. Provide some name. MFA evidence. So I'm providing certain instructions here. Okay, you can provide based on your choice. I mean the compliance manager or the auditor will provide according to their choice. Okay, so click on submit. So this is done. We have created one evidence collection detail. Okay, so now we can click on request evidence. So now you see one task will be generated automatically. Reload it. You see under evidence, we have a task here. Click on it. So now you see this is assigned to Alexander. So now let us impersonate to Alexander and open this task. Let's move to the evidence section here. Click on my evidence request task. So you see this is the one which is created just now for our evidence, right? For our same entity. So open it. So now what we will do, attach some evidence here. Okay, so once we do that, let's see what happened. So now choose the file. I am adding a dummy file here, but you have to provide the real file. Now click on accept work. Once you accepted the work, it is work in progress. Okay, so now we have already attached the document here. This is a kind of, evidence which we have added. So now what we have to do, we have to request for review. There is no approver here, so let's leave it. Click on request review. Yes. So let us move back to Ali, who is the requester here. Okay. Click on my evidence request. This is the one. Open it. Open this here. Evidence task. Okay. You see the document here which is already attached by the person who is providing you the evidence. So now you have few options here. You can accept the evidence, you can request for revision, means you don't like the evidence or there is some shortcoming in that, you can click on request revision, or you can request some other information as well. But let us click on accept evidence. Once we do that, evidence is closed. So now the auditor has gone through the issue, okay, asked for the evidence, evidence is provided. Now the evidence task is closed. Okay, so now we will again go to evidence request. You see this is the evidence request, open it. So you see at the bottom, this one is already closed. Okay, so now you see the message, all evidence have been collected and reviewed, because we already have gone through the task at the below. Okay, so now it is asking us to close the request. So now we can just click on close. So now this evidence thing is also done. So till now, friends, we have created one authority document. We have a policy, we have a control, we have an indicator. We have seen how the indicators behave. If the indicator fails, then we create an issue. Okay. Once the issue is there, we create a remediation task. Okay. With respect to that issue only, we have created one evidence request, because the auditors are requesting the evidence so that they provide their final report. So now the evidence is also closed. We got the evidence. I mean, the auditors are now having the evidence. So they are now satisfied and close the evidence request. So we have covered most of the thing. So there are few things which are left, like policy exception and policy acknowledgement. So what is acknowledgement? Let's click on it. Or let me go to the policy first of all. So now let me go to my account. Okay, not this impersonated user. This is, we are here. Let me close all this. Now let me again open the policy. Click on policies. Click on our policy, which is already published, right? At the bottom of the policy, you will see a tab of acknowledgement campaign. So from here, you can create all the things with respect to this acknowledgement. Click on new. So this is the policy. We have to select the audience. Generally, it is all the people of that particular department. Okay. So now we have this audience here, OP team. So this is having few users which I already have created. It's basically a kind of group. Okay, group and people are there in this audience. And this is the acknowledgement here. Okay, we have to provide some dates here, like till how much time it is valid. So it is valid for only 1 week. Okay, number of days to respond, 5. Now submit. Request acknowledgement. So acknowledgement task will be generated for the active users present in the audience. So whoever is active here, they will receive the acknowledgement task. Okay. You will see at the bottom. These are the acknowledgement tasks here. It is sent to all these users. So here you see it is sent to 𝐄𝐧𝐠𝐝 as well. So now let us impersonate to 𝐄𝐧𝐿 and see how it is looking. When we come here, we go to impersonate another user, impersonate 𝐄𝐧𝐿, come here. So generally these things come with respect to the portal. Okay, so now we will add the portal here, ESC portal, employee self-service. So now this is the employee self-service portal of this employee, 𝐄𝐧𝐠𝐝𝐢. And here you see policy acknowledgement is coming. Click on it. This is the one for us, right? Online banking password policy. Click on view. Accept it after reading the policy. Accept. So acknowledgement is completed here. So if I go back to the policy and see the acknowledgement, reload it, you can see the responses from here. For 𝐄𝐧𝐠𝐝𝐢, it is accepted. So you can verify all the things from here. So once all are done, you can close it, or it will be automatically closed once the valid date come here. Okay. So this is all about acknowledgement campaign. So after the acknowledgement campaign, we have the final thing which is left, which is policy exceptions. So you know what is a policy exception already from the beginning of the chapter of the session. Okay. So these are certain exceptions if the people are not able to follow the policy. So they must share why they are not able to follow and when they will be able to follow. Okay, so all these things will be included in this policy, and so all this exception must be approved by the compliance team, by the managers, okay, by the people who are looking after the policy. So now for this policy, we are now creating the policy exception. We will provide one approval group for that, and that will be compliance manager. And let's say approver is able tutor. Provide the name of this exception is remote users. So remote users are not having good mobiles. Okay, so for the time being, they do not have the fix available because their mobiles are not able to provide password security there. So this is just my hypothetical situation, but in real time, people must have certain limitations and they can share everything here. Okay, so now we will provide some schedule. This is applicable only for 1 week. Okay, so now click on submit. You can click on request approval. So who is the approver here? Able tutor. So now let me impersonate to Able. Let's go back to our window here. We are already in session with Able here. So now we have to go to policy exceptions. Click on my policy exception approvals. So this is the same which is available here. Click on this. Now click on approve here because this is Able tutor and who is providing policy exception. You have to approve this. Before approval, you have to provide the rating as well here. Okay, so provide some rating. It's a very low risk here. Okay, not much. Click on approve. So once done, you see this exception is now approved for this policy. So now let's come back here. Let's reload. So now this exception is totally approved by all the people. You can click on extension based on your dates and all, and you can close the exception as well. So now let's click on close the exception. So in this way, for this policy, we have created the exception. So I hope with respect to this policy, you will be able to understand each and every step. Okay, starting from the authority document till this exception. So this is all about policy and compliance. I hope you enjoyed it and let me know your feedback. If you have any question, let us know in the comment section. So now it is your responsibility to practice this properly and build a complete, application mindset. In actual scenarios, as we mentioned, there are a lot of technical things which you have to deal with, like getting the authority document from the actual content publisher, getting the citations and creating more controls. Here we have created one control only, but you can create more controls. Each control have one indicator. Okay, so all these things are pretty much related, and now you know each and everything. Okay, so thank you so much. I hope you like it. Subscribe to the channel. Bye bye.